Throw that. Alright, y'all give me a second. I gotta make sure my thing's good. Alright, I'm just gonna get scan myself. Alright, I'm just gonna get scan myself. I can hear myself. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I'm going to go ahead and play the stream thing. Now, what is... There you go. Alright, what is good, everybody? It is your boy, JJ That Dude. We are back on some good old The Greatest Attorney. Y'all give me a quick second on this, because for some reason my thing keeps acting up a little bit. So I have to get everything straight for it. Alright, but yeah. We are here on it. We are doing this. Now, of course, I am supposed to do Among Us if it comes down to it. Now, of course, if not 6 people got to be for Among Us. If there's not 6 people for Among Us, I'm doing Master Duel like I've said I would previously do. Because I know Rico's, like I said, it's going to be there. I know Rico going to be there. I know maybe Kayla might make it. Might. Clay, I don't have no faith probably that he's going to make it. Kake probably would if I asked him, but at this point, if no one goes for it, hey, look, I'm balling. I'm playing me some good old Master Duel. Because I'm not trying to play that long anyway. And I'll probably give him like 10-20 minutes in total for it and waiting for the people. And seeing how it is. Because once it hits that 10-20 minute mark and I don't see more than 6 people, no, I'm not doing that thing. But yeah, we are on the Greatest Chronicles. So 3. I think this one, like once we finish talking to the lady, I think from what someone has told me, that we should be in the trials. So let's go ahead. Alright, we shall converse with each other. The stolen waxwork, because I guess we're talking about the waxwork. Tell us more about the stolen waxwork, please. It was some days ago now. When I came in here one morning, I immediately noticed a waxwork was missing from the special exhibit here. It is our most prominent display, so that's why the curtains were closed. And I found the ransom note in its place. The culprit must have broken in during the night and taken it in, then. So this waxwork that was stolen, it was a model of some horrible criminal, I suppose. Of a particularly horrible criminal, in fact. The killer who left a more profound scar on society than any other, I would say. The Professor. Not a name I've heard of. So, Mr. Naruhoda, it seems the circle is complete. Sorry? The Professor case happened around the time I was born, didn't it? Indeed it did, Iris. 10 years ago, a series of murders that rocked the capital. 10 years ago? Yes. At exactly that time, or exactly the time, that Baron Van Seeks graduated from university, in fact. What? Surely he's not saying... So the big event that changed Mr. Reaper's life. As you surmised, it was the Professor case. Who's the Professor then? It was a series of gruesome murders that had all of London gripped in terror a decade ago. After 5 victims were killed, the man was arrested and put to death. And now he's immortalized here in the wax for all Londoners to admire and enjoy. Though of course, he happens to be absent at present on account of the abduction. I don't understand. How's all this related to Lord Van Zieks? You must first understand, my dear fellow, why it is that the professor earned such infamy. It was due to the victims he chose, some of the Whitehall's finest. What do you mean, Hurley? Those murdered by the professor were some of the highest members of the British aristocracy. Members of the nobility, even royalty. It sent shockwaves through the country's administration. Members of the... Ah, wait, of course. What Professor Harebrain said. Lord Van Zieks is from a family with noble blood. Oh gosh. It was the 5th victim that led the professor's arrest. The last of the killer's prey was a young noble by the name of Clint Van Zieks. No, I don't believe it. Van Zieks? I'm sure you could piece together the rest for yourself. In the wake of his older brother's murder, the young Barrick pursued a career as a prosecutor, and eventually became the Reaper we know today. I had no idea Lord Van Zieks had such a tragic past. Well, I'm afraid that's all I can say on the matter, for the time being at least. After all, I have work to do. As a waxwork exhibit. I'm afraid I shall have to excuse myself as well. Oh yes, of course. It's been a pleasure, thank you. Well, none of the predicted scenarios I've been analyzing involved you coming to visit me here. Oh. It's been too long, it really has. I'm delighted to see you, Barrick. It's been 10 years, and here we are, meeting in a prison of all places. I can't forgive myself for what happened to Mr. Asmund. I just can't. I still can't believe it could happen. Tomorrow, the court will decide. Yes! I have a young Eastern man acting for my defense. He seems liable enough, though. It was an accident. A terrible accident. He assures me he can prove it. I must warn you. Oh, I know. I've heard already. You're going to be prosecuting, aren't you? Yes. Since I returned to England, I heard lots of stories. Barrick, are you really... What? Never mind. I know that you have my best interest at heart. My friend is on trial. I wouldn't entrust it to anybody else. Of course, I fully understand. Thank you, Barrick. Until tomorrow, then. I'll see you in court. To be continued. Whew, there we go. Alright, I had to look at the thing. Alright. So, what it says is, the 23rd of October, 8:52 a.m., the Old Bailey, defendant's antechamber. I can't believe it's been 6 months since I was last allowed to work in court. And now here I am, back at the Old Bailey. Ah, Mr. Naruhoda. Good morning, Professor Hairbrain. I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. The atmospheric pressure in here is off the charts. I've never felt anything like it. It's crushing me. I feel it every time I'm here. That gravity. Well, this is a Britain's, highest court. But are you telling me it's fitted with some kind of device that can actually control air pressure? I think it's probably all in the mind. Ah, yes. Well, you won't let me down, will ya, Mr. Naruhoda? I'm counting on you today in today's trial to save my life. To save the secret of my super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine from being made public. Yes, I understand. I know what I have to do. To establish that the explosion 2 days ago was nothing more than an unfortunate accident. Well, I'm sure there's nothing to worry about, really. Justice will prevail. I can't tell if this is Mr. Sholmes or the other dude, but I'm just gonna say it in a regular voice though. My commiserations, Mr. Naruhoda. You appear to have been lumbered with a most tiresome case here. There you go. Okay, it was Sherlock Holmes. Okay. Mr. Herlock Sholmes, or Mr. Sholmes, I didn't expect to see you here. That was very mean, Runa, leaving me alone at home with Hurley. Well, I mean, I gotta do my job. It took me at least an hour to wake him up. Is it? Are you? Herlock Sholmes? Indeed, sir, I am he. Herlock Sholmes. Oh, I've heard all about your exploits, even whilst living in, Germany. You're kind of like I. Oh yes, Rance magazine is on sale in Germany too. This month's installment was sublime. Your deduction in the adventure of Silver Blaze was wonderful. Ah yes, a memorable case indeed. It concerned a snake, I seem to recall. No, that was the speckled band. Well, thank you for coming. I do appreciate your support. I'm sorry to disappoint you, my dear fellow, but I'm afraid I can't stay. Oh. I've urgent business at Madame Two-Spells. You mean your waxwork job? No, the waxwork abduction, of course. Madam has engaged in my services. Ah, so you're trying to get the bottom of that ransom note, are you? Hey, fellow turkey, how you doing? The week's wage depends on it. As does the safe return of the waxwork, naturally. Oh, that's fine. Oh, that man say he'll take it out. He can do that. As such, I intend to give you my undivided attention. Oh, well, never mind then. I understand. Of course, with my skills of observation and reasoning, resolving the matter will be as easy as proverbial pie. I shall return forthwith. For until I solve the case, you seen AI limit out of curiosity? Nope, I have never even heard of that or seen that. That was about. I have no idea what it's about though. I shall have no money to afford a pie of any description. Ooh, then you must absolutely give it your full attention, Hurley. Quite, Iris, quite. But life is riddled with irony, you know. Whenever I give something my full attention, I have a quite insatiable desire for pie. One of the universe's intractable mysteries, you might say. My throat feels like crap now. Oh yes, quite, definitely, absolutely, I totally understand. Is someone a little starstruck? I wish you the very best of luck, Professor Hairbrain. Ooh, why thank you. Before I depart, Mr. Naruhodo, a word in your ear, if you please. What's this about? As you have remarkably little grounding in science, I feel I ought to inform you. As compelling as this super high voltage instantaneous kinesis hypothesis may be, a practical implementation such as was attempted by the professor at the Great Exhibition is quite impossible. But the professor said the demonstration was a success. Yes, it would appear that he fervently believed it, or believes it was. I've read Professor Bunnybrain's paper about it too, Runo. I have to say, I'm sure it can't be done. It could barely be done theoretically, let alone practically. So he's completely barking up the wrong tree. But how can an experimentation that had no possibility of succeeding in fact succeed? That's contradictory. And it's that contradiction that will be the heart of the trial. I have no doubt. What's that supposed to mean? Now I must hurry along. I wish you the best of luck, my dear fellow. See you later, Hurley. He's out of there. Well, looks like you're on your own today, Runo. But shut up, you can do it. Oh, what about you, Iris? No. I'm afraid I can't help. I have something I need to do. I see. It's going to be a big surprise for you when you find out what it is. Ha, that sounds ominous. Counsel for the defense and the defendant. The court is about to be in session. Make your way into the courtroom at once. We're on our way. An experiment that the laws of science say can't be possibly succeed, and a scientist who convinced that it did. That's the riddle you have to unlock here, Ryunosuke. That's the key to this case. Hold on, give me a second though. Give me some water, y'all give me a second. Sorry, I had to get out of the way. In the name of Her Majesty, the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. So yeah, last thing I think we need to remember is that we need the screwdriver. It's the only thing I remember. But yeah, we need to know the autopsy and everything else that we can get. Those are the only two I think that they would probably give me at the moment. I don't know. We are setting the day for the public trial of prosecutor, or not prosecutor, but I'm sorry, I keep thinking about prosecutor Baron Van Zeeks the entire time. Professor Albert Harebrain. Not no prosecutor, like I accidentally said. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is ready. The defense is ready, my lord. I'm 6 months out of practice, and what's more, I got a Susato. I'm without Susato side today. Is it just my imagination, or does the air in here feel even more present than usual? Well, I guess because you are here. So, I must say I recollect the victim of this case all too well, Mr. Odie Osmond. Mr. Osmond was a well-known advisor, though that was merely a front for his diverse criminal activities. It was only a month ago that the man appeared in court prosecuted by you, Lord Van Zeeks. But the jury unanimously found him not guilty, which was some nonsensical cap. Because every member of the jury had been bribed, by the sound of it. These powerful London criminals are prepared to go to extreme lengths to keep their freedom. But 2 days ago, on 21st of October, Mr. Osmond met his end. The work of the Reaper, was it? If that is how your lordship would describe divine retribution. But the fact remains that Mr. Osmond's death was a direct result of the actions of the accused, Professor Harebrain. Very well then. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you have been selected at random to represent the will of the people. Are the 6 of you ready to fulfill your societal duty? I don't know who this dude is. Alright, but it is what it is. I am most gratified to be selected to carry out this important civic duty, my lord. To have a man's fate in the palm of one's hand, oh gosh, oh golly, it sends shivers down my spine. Science experiments, magic, conjuring tricks, courtroom trials, all are nothing more than performances. Any spurious scholar that defiles the reputation of science deserves to hang. We have to listen to what's said on both sides. Defense and, that's said on one. That's it, isn't it? I could never... I hit that skip button so hard. Well look, I sadly gotta read this crap. If I did it, then, kind of cooked on that, because no one's going to want to look at that crap, sadly. I wish there was some voice acting this thing, though. Would be nice. Only voice acting I'll see is daggone in the daggone, like, random other cutscenes. Wasn't like this in my day. Wasn't like this at all. That's the police killer Artabo look-alike again. He's as exhausted as ever, it seems. Now, as I am sure you are all aware, the incident we are here to judge today tragically took place at the Great Exhibition, shortly after its opening. Though the death toll could be far worse, with the exception of the victim, no one was killed. Nevertheless, the dream of the science being exhibited rapidly turned into a nightmare for the spectators. A tragic turn of events, and as such, the eyes of all Londoners, no, of the whole world will be on this trial. It is our duty to reach a swift and just conclusion, I feel. So, your opening statement, please, Lord Van Zeeks. At the heart of this incident is technology never before demonstrated anywhere in the world. But to be fair, there was one of them that I had to just use my regular voice in because I'm not gonna lie to you. That thing was terrible. Cause like, I know my voice is giving out and everything else is just out of nowhere, bro. I had to go. I was like, crap. I was trying to rush that thing down, but I was like so close to doing it, but it's just the fact that I had to do my Rumble yesterday. So I had to rush on that. That thing was terrible. So I had to like make it work with what I had. Let me quick. Okay, I had you on. My bad, my apologies. I had you on now. Okay, one of the science's latest developments, I take it, The government is keen to capitalize on the Great Exhibition to improve Britain's technology advances. Or advantage. I was thinking, I'm sorry to say advances, not advantage. Why not advancements or advance? You know, advances. Like, come on, that makes more sense to say. Like, if I'm looking at this, I would think they would say that the government is keen to capitalize on the Great Exhibition to improve Britain's technological advances or something like that. Not advantage. Who says advantage instead of advances? I'm gonna shut up though. My brain's gonna tell me to shut up. Just keep it going, I guess. The technology being demonstrated by the accused was described as super high voltage, instantaneous kinesis. Good lord! It's designed to disassemble human subjects using extremely high voltage electricity and beam them instantly to another location where they are subsequently reassembled. Is such a thing even within the realms of possibility? Well, I don't believe it. That's for sure. Disassembling people with electricity? My goodness, how shocking! Yeah, that statement was shocking as well. Ha! The whole idea is absurd! The hypothesis would never stand up to scrutiny. Sir, I believe you are a fellow of the Royal Society. Are you not? An expert in your field? I am, and my word of the matter can be considered final. Instantaneous kinesis is poppycock. So this expert and Mr. Sholmes are in agreement. It's impossible. Which is understandably true in my opinion as well. I don't think it's easy to just instantly just do that. With all the things that are out in this world, I don't think it's able to be done that easily. No stuff. Which is why I say you should use a bag or something. Or something that's an inanimate object and see how that goes. What's the prosecution's view on the matter? The prosecution would assert that the accused instantaneous kinesis demonstration was a success. But what rot? Order in the court. The professor's hypothesis is currently under investigation by the British government. If it is deemed to have merit, a substantial research grant would be made available. The accused made use of an invention built on his new hypothesis to take Mr. Aspen's life, in order to be the sole benefactor of the grant. I don't see the purpose of him doing that though, because guess what? It was the dude's money. It was Aspen's money. It wasn't even the other person's money. It was literally this dude's money. He literally said, nah, I got you. That's the main reason why he would not kill him. It would make no sense for him to kill him for that dumb reason alone. So, it wouldn't make sense for him to do that, though. Anyway, well enough. But... this disastrous demonstration was no accident. How do we know, though? It was carefully designed from the outset to end the life of the victim. Thank you, Lord Van Zeeks. The prosecution's stance is clear. But you will now bring forth witnesses to substantiate your claims. Gladly, my lord. I just guess bring out the dude. Bailiff, show the witnesses to the stand. I mean, that makes sense to bring him out. Witnesses, state your names and occupation for the court. Yes, sir. Tobias Gregson, Detective Inspector at Scotland Yard's Homicide Division. I was on duty at the demonstration on the day in question and in charge of the following investigation. Albert Harebrain, scientist. You were born in England, but have been carrying out research in Germany in recent years, correct?
Yes, that's right. After graduating from the university here in Britain, I went to work in Germany and made an amazing discovery, which is what brought me back. I had to demonstrate my incredible hypothesis at the Great Exhibition.
What you demonstrated was incredible, alright? An incredible explosion.
But the science was a success. The instantaneous kinesis worked. Everybody saw it. They must have done. Yes, there was a terrible accident, but the demonstration of my hypothesis was a success.
Well, that much is undeniable, as shown in this photograph taken by the forensic investigation team. This was taken inside the Crystal Tower, I take it, the centerpiece of the exhibition, no less. Where the murder weapon at? Where that murder weapon at, though? That's right, my lord. Sees the victim rammed straight into it. I see. Very well. Submit the photograph as evidence. No, we're not reading that. As the courts heard, the victim of the incident was Mr. Odie Asman. Okay, so it was supposed to go over here to over here-ish. That's what it looks like it's going to. So around here is where it would go to. That's that. Alright, so let's look at this thing, because I never had a chance to actually examine this piece of evidence. Okay, it's this right here, my bad. Ah, there's some sort of lever here. Hey, Liv, how you doing? What the? What is this? It looks like a cross between a bow and a gun, like a crossbow gun. I think it's probably used for the same thing too. What's wrong, man? What's wrong? It looks like you can wind this around in order to draw the bowstring back and create tension. You must be able to fire arrows with a huge amount of force using this device then. In fact, I would imagine it's far more accurate and powerful than a Japanese longbow. I really had no idea when I was picking it up, but I spotted this at the exhibition ground. This groove here must be where the arrows are loaded, I suppose. So I was right. It was a sort of bow with an automatic fire mechanism. This would be perfect for someone like me who catches his ear with the bowstring 2 times out of 3. In fact, if I had one of these, maybe I could have beaten Cosma in Kyudo archery training. Alright, anything else that you look at? Okay, no, we got everything else. That's perfect. Green piece of cloth. Okay, right here. Let me look at this. Looks like this layers of thick canvas with a thick rubber lining of sorts. Never seen anything like it before. But applying Mr. Schultz's method, you might deduce it was a part of the raincoat worn by someone who really didn't want to get wet. That would make sense. I'm over here being a magic, and my team says I suck for Iron Man in the air. That keep dying. When we didn't have a tank, they got mad. I ended up dying, and then a Punisher said I sucked. I went 6-12, and we went. Well, I mean, to be fair, he can't be talking if he's like, you know, say 4-17. He's a Punisher. If he can't get rid of it, hold up. This Iron Man, hold up. Okay, your team says okay. So let me ask this though: was the Iron Man the one you were fighting, or was that your other team as well, the Iron Man? Let me ask that, because if Iron Man's on your team, that's kind of dumb on his end. And if Iron Man was like the enemy person on your team, Punisher should have been handling him. If that's the case, that's Punisher's job. You're fighting against or with him? Let me ask that. Were you fighting with or against the Iron Man? If you're fighting against him, then that's Punisher's job. Punisher should be the one handling that. That's not even you. That's not even your job. Yeah, that's the Punisher's job. Punisher should be handling that, dude. That's Punisher's job. He should be out there handling the Iron Man. He's only a head scan. He needs to head scan the Iron Man. Anyone that's head scan should be out there focused on Iron Man. Unless you're Luna Snoke, then you might need to be healing the team and you gotta do it at the same time. But maybe that's Punisher's job. Punisher should be out there doing that. That should be Punisher's job. Like, if he ain't doing that, then he can't be talking. We need to help a Magic player out. You know what I'm saying? We definitely need to do that. Honestly, that seems kind of like how the game be sometimes. Which makes sense, though. Oh, I think I'm sorry. That thing's terrible. It's already on. Alright. Oh, you said we also had a Spider-Man talking junk? Is that what you were trying to say? So Dash. Honestly, I can't say much, man. Spider-Man's aren't Spider-Man's. And that's another one who should be able to. So technically, you had 2-3 people that should have did their job and handled the Iron Man. Spider-Man could handle the Iron Man, and even the Punisher could handle the Iron Man. That's a team issue right there, bro. I ain't gonna lie, that's a team issue right there. And the charring must have occurred when the person was struck by lightning. Or maybe not. But yeah, that's a them issue, bro. That's not even on you right at that point. I need to see what... I think the screwdriver probably hit him or something? Like... It makes sense, because that thing is the only thing with blood on, I think. There had been a number of allegations made against the man. But putting them aside for the time being, he was the man who financed the research for the experiment and the demonstration itself. Indeed he did. I see. So to summarize the situation, the defendant is accused of taking the life of a man who funded his work. Would that be correct? Exactly. But couldn't it be that the explosion was caused by some malfunction in the apparatus used for the demonstration? That's right, that must be it. Must be the machine. My poor splendid machine. You saw it yesterday, didn't you? We can't even examine the records thanks to the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. And that's my problem. I feel like the police should be there to wait and then let the people see it, look at it, and then let the police investigate it. That should be the best thing. But y'all don't be doing your job anyway, though, so I can't say that for you. What? The wreckage? The wreckage? But that being the case, how can the facts be established? How can it be possibly be determined whether this was an accident or deliberate malicious act? Well, I'm probably most likely going to do Master Duel. I'm not going to lie to you. I might do Master Duel today at least. But tomorrow, I don't know if I'm doing it. I don't know about that. It depends on the situation. It depends on if I'm busy or not. Because it depends on what Sunday's going to be for me. Because I don't know what Sunday's going to be for me. So it depends on all that, though. I gotta be honest, man, because look, I'll be honest, I don't think anyone's gonna really be on that Among Us other from like maybe Rico, and I might just do Master Duel for that. So I might do Master Duel, not Master Duel, but Marvel Rivals tomorrow. I might. I can't guarantee it though, but I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing anyway. I might do something for PC though, and then go from there with it though. So I'd have to see how that goes though, love. I'd see how that goes. Because technically, I think yesterday, Rico, Concave, and Vortex were doing Marvel Rivals when I was on my Rumble. So I was gonna say you could have done played with them because I think they were actually doing that actually. If I'm not mistaken though. How can it possibly be determined whether this was an accident or a deliberate act of maliciousness or anything like that? Extremely simple, my lord. I beg your pardon. Oh yeah, that's right, though. But yeah, they were doing it at that time, though. I beg your pardon. Isn't that right, witness? What? Sorry, me? No, your neighbor. Yes, sir. It was a murder. Plain and simple. Anyone could state that with complete certainty. What? How can he possibly think that? Thank you, Inspector. I think we had better proceed to formal testimony. You will explain to the court on what grounds you claim this experiment to have been a front for murder. Okay, a front for murder. The corpse that went crashing through the Crystal Tower had a broken neck. I made a minor miscalculation in the angle of the beam projection, that's all. That was my mistake. But the post-mortem examination revealed another injury, a fatal wound. There was a lesion in his chest where he'd been stabbed by something sharp right in the heart. Alright, I need to press that probably. So the victim was killed before he went anywhere. And this fellow's the only one who could have done it. Yeah, we need to press that. But if we can't press that and nothing else happens, I'll press everything else. An extraordinary business! In addition to suffering a broken neck, the victim was stabbed in the heart. Information I would really like to have heard from someone other than the judge. Which, I'm sorry, that's true as well. It makes no sense that this stupid special suspension of like the forensic science thing can't let you investigate the crime scene like that. The coroner says death would have been all but instant for a wound like that. You could say, in fact, that the victim was killed twice by the accused. No, no, and no! That couldn't be further from the truth. I have here the experiment plans document that was submitted to the security team. The victim stood himself inside something called the bird cage, ready to be beamed instantly. To the second level of the Crystal Tower, about 25 yards away. Man, get out of here! Why did it have up here then? It went over here for some dumb reason. It said no fire! And it went over here. Why the heck would it... Why would they put it lower? Man, that's on the man right there, bro. Come on. How you gonna put it right there and then say it was this way, but they put it on a little farther up? The experiment did not go according to plan, however. Yeah, it went up with it. As the machine was put in operation, there was a large explosion. And the blast caused the beam transmitter to point higher than intended. Yeah, that's the problem I have. Is how did that happen, unless the screwdriver did something with it. Accordingly, the kinesis result in the bird cage materialized in midair, from where it subsequently fell, crashing through the glass of the Crystal Tower, a large round window. My word! One assumes that the victim's neck was broken upon impact with the tower then. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean for this to happen. The machine was just too powerful. But honestly, really, I swear, it was just an accident. A terrible accident. Unfortunately, that excuse can't save you. No, not considering the sharp murder weapon that pierced the victim's heart. A murder weapon? What are you saying? The autopsy report submitted by the coroner. Hold up, let me get this out the way. There we go. The prosecution would like it to be entered into the court record, and I have to put this thing up right. Your request is granted, counsel. You're not reading that. Alright, let's see. Autopsy report. The coroner is Courtney Scythe. Who is that lovely lady name? Let me see that lady real quick. Details of the victim. Name, Odie Asman, male. Age, 47. That makes sense. Nationality, British, okay. Time of death, 21st of October, around 2:20 p.m. Cause of death, hemorrhage, or whatever it is, hemorrhage, I don't know, of a wound to the chest that pierced the heart, inflicted by a sharp implement. Assuming it was the screwdriver. Additional observations: a broken vertebra, was likely resulting from an impact after a sudden fall from considerable height. I was there in person, you know. I saw the whole ludicrous performance. The only other person on the stage with Mr. Osmond was that disgraceful execution for a scientist. Then really, by all accounts, it must have been him. Yeah, it definitely does, man. It's just with that pun. That pun's out there hitting. How you doing? Hard to think of otherwise, really. Very well. Counsel for the defense. Proceed with the cross-examination, please. Oh, yes, my lord. Need to focus here. It's been a while. Let me lock in. Obviously, I'm just going to press the fourth thing, and if that doesn't work, I'm going to press everything else. That's what I want to talk to you about, sir.
Hold it!
The defense knew nothing of this crucial information. I need to see more of this. The prosecution received this report from the forensic investigation team only this morning. That was the first we knew of it as well. I can only apologize for the impossibility of informing the defense. Sarcastic and insincere. Thanks. So, what was the nature of this sharp object? Among the accused tools that were in the use of the at the demonstration, one is of particular interest. This. Oh yes, that would appear to be some kind of screwdriver. Wouldn't it count? Aha! There he is! My trusty little companion, Andrew! Oh my, we are just not gonna have a good day with this, are we, chat? Andrew? Of course! Ah, do you know each other already? He's one of my dear friends, like all my tools. I've named them all, you know. We're one big happy family. This guy's a freak and is a creep! Get this man out of my courtroom! Andrew is my flathead screwdriver, of course. His brother, Michael, is a crosshead. Well, it would appear that your beloved Andrew has a red stain on his shank. Look at that thing. It's disgusting. Ah, that isn't... It's blood. Beyond all reasonable doubt. No. And that's not all, man. That long, sharp shape of this Andrew fellow is completely consistent with the victim's wound. What? What? Well, bro, he has blood on it. What the heck do you think it's gonna be? Order! Order in the court! The court will enter this friend of the defendant as of evidence. Okay. So one of the professor's hairbrain's tool is the murder weapon. Great! I think I gotta press everything then. First, we have to look at this thing. This is blood. Mr. Aspen's, no doubt. This is the problem with looking at murder weapons. I've seen this unusually shaped handle before. It's the same screwdriver that was lodged in the grille on the floor of the kinesis machine, which could be important information, so I should definitely make note of it. And who just texted me? Let me answer this text. Okay, not bad. Okay, there we go. You know what? Let's just press 5. Let me just press you real quick.
Hold it!
Just want to press this up. What grounds do you have for saying that? Ha! Do you really need to ask? There's only 2 people on the public experimentation stage in front of the whole crowd. The victim, Mr. Odie Asmund. Or Odie Asmund, or whatever you want to call him, but that's the point. And the accused, Professor Hairbrain. And we know for certain that before the experiment, the victim was alive. That's right! I saw him with my own eyes! Furthermore, following the explosion in Kinesis, nobody went anywhere near the body. In other words, only someone else on the stage with the victim could have been possible.
Excuse me!
Let me talk to you real quick, sir. Professor Hairbrain, do you have some information that may be relevant here? Professor! Ah, sorry! I was just calculating the optimum coefficient of electrolysis to separate molecules in a human body. And the witness stand is the best place for that? It seems as though you might have something to say about Inspector Gregson's last remark. Yes, that's right, of course. He just said that nobody else could have done it, didn't he? Yeah, that's right. Who else could have stabbed the victim, eh? I don't know, but there's no way that I could have possibly have stabbed Mr. Asmund as you say. Eh? Explain, please, Professor. Of course, this cold-hearted policeman may not be aware, I suppose, but humans are warm-blooded mammals with blood running constantly through their veins. I had heard. Then surely you see, if I had plunged something the size of injury to that man's chest, the whole stage would have been a bloodbath. No, a blood swimming pool. Ah. But thousands of Londoners were watching me at the time. And yet none of them claimed to have seen me a swimming pool of blood. Well, no, I suppose not. I kind of just couldn't go that aspect. You see? Not one! True. I didn't see anything like that. Well done, Professor. That was a great counter-argument. Order! Order in the court! He's like, alright, he got cooking a little bit. Alright, let me put that on the hold. Pray for gift of this courtesy if I savor a drop from my hallowed chalice to accompany my old friend's adducing. Here's to you, Albert. Oh, you're too kind, Beric, but I'm really not a patch on you. No, you're not. No? You're neglected to mention one crucial possibility. I have? A particular situation in which very little bleeding would result from a stab wound. Ah, of course. Inspector, enlighten the court, please. Yes, sir. Where are they going with this? Very well. You will amend your formal testimony now, Inspector Gregson. I could use the could I use the crossbow and be like, hey, yeah, the crossbow hit him? Or the screwdriver? Because maybe the crossbow was used with the screwdriver or something. But I don't know if he had remembered that he would have lost it. I don't know.
Objection!
I don't know. I'll take that, I guess. I was thinking that or crossbow. So either or is fine with me, I guess. Okay. You say that while the weapon remains in the body, there's very little bleeding. Is that unequivocal? Look, There was no blood on the experimentation stage, even though there was where the fellow was stabbed. The only explanation for that is that the screwdriver was still in his body, stopping any heavy bleeding. It's common medical knowledge, my learned friend, even on your side of the world. I ain't worried about that, 'cause guess what? Sato already has done that before. I ain't talking about that. Yes, but about the screwdriver. The thing is, we actually saw it at the scene ourselves, on the experimentation stage. What? It was on the floor by the wreckage of the machine, poking through a metal grill. I went to pick it up. The detective here stopped me. Isn't that right, Inspector Gregson? Ah, well, now you've come to mention it, yes. Inspector, are we to understand that you permitted the defense counsel to investigate? That you contrived the Special Disposition for Scientific Equipment Act? No, not at all. I wouldn't do that. I just let him look, nothing more. I was very clear that he can't touch a thing. Yes, that's true. This screwdriver was in plain sight on the stage. But it shouldn't have been, should it? What are you getting at? If this tool had been inside the victim's body when the victim was beamed away by the machine, then it shouldn't have still been on the stage. Ah! That's right. It should have been beamed across the Crystal Tower along with Mr. Asman. And been found still lodging, or still lodged in the victim's chest. Yeah, he better crash out. Order! Order in the court! How do you explain this, Inspector? I don't know. It looks like as though everything that the victim had on his person was moved with him when he was beamed. The screwdriver was still in his chest when the instantaneous kinesis occurred. Obviously, that should have been beamed to the destination as well. It's a strange situation. Even though people are saying that the instantaneous kinesis is a scientific impossibility, we're still basing arguments on the assumption that it actually did take place. Alright, time to tighten the screws here. My lord, if the prosecution is unable to explain this inconsistency in the arguments, we can only conclude that the testimony given in support cannot be relied upon. Or Zinks is stumped. Science! He's like, science! Do you have something to say, witness? You have a large little screeching voice. I didn't know what was going on here, cuz.
Yes, I knew it!
Oh, he's writing that thing down. Look at that. Look, hey, that's how we want to be studied and locked in on anything in general.
It bears out. The equations hold. Mr. Narhoda, don't worry.
Who's worrying? I'm good. About what?
Without delving into the details, there is no inconsistency. Do you want it to be an accident or not? Shut up!
What?
Even if Andrew had been lodged in Mr. Asman's chest, my trusty tool wouldn't have been moved. Andrew remained on the stage is consistent with my calculations.
What? Bro! Now we have a dude that wants to be convicted! What the heck? It would seem your illusions have been shattered. Clearly we should hear the accused explanation. Sure, go for it at this point, bro. This man said, nah, I got a conclusion that I'm still the killer. Why do you have that? That is stupid. At this point, I wish I had McGilded out here. He would be like, that makes no sense what you're doing. Like, just to shut him up. Or should I say, this brilliant scientist's explanation. At this point, you might as well say that, because he's actually trying to help you out. That's what I found the inconsistency in the prosecution's argument. Scientists. Very well. The defendant will testify again. Provide us with the scientific explanation as to why the inconsistency asserted by the defense fails to hold.
In the name of Apollo, I will, my lord.
Of course.
To be clear, I'm still at the stage of gathering data in my research. My hypothesis states that kinesis cannot transport metal, though. Hence, the metal weapon would have stayed put.
You got it, bro. Not gonna say that.
In other words, the point just raised by Mr. Naruhodo isn't inconsistency at all. Mr. Asman was a patron of my research. Without him, my work would have been possible. Now I have a duty to protect the incredible machine that we built together.
So, the thrust of your testimony, Professor, is that based on his hypothesis, metal objects cannot be moved by this method of instantaneous kinesis. In other words, since the screwdriver was made of metal, even if it had remained lodged in the victim's chest, subsequent discovery on the stage, despite the victim being found elsewhere, is not inconsistency. And therefore, Professor Albert Habrain could still have been the killer.
My great hypothesis holds, you see. We have to make a cage used to contain the subject from wood from that very reason.
I was not addressing you, witness. Professor Harebrain.
Yes?
Whose side are you on here?
I don't take sides with the Naruhodo. No. My only interest lies in upholding my hypothesis. I'm a scientist after all.
Okay, Your Honor, let me leave. Cause he don't know what he want to do.
Let me leave.
Can I leave, sir? I want to leave. Is he working for us or against us? It's very hard to tell. Let us see how you cross-examine this testimony, by Deputy's friend.
Yes, fire away, Mr. Naruhodo.
Dude, I'm just gonna present something to you. You dum-dum. No, just to shut your hypothesis down, shut up.
Objection.
Shut up. Just shut up with your hypothesis, man. I'm sick and tired of you, bro. Professor Harebrain, you say that according to your hypothesis, nothing made of metal can be beamed by instantaneous kinesis using the machine that you made. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. Spot on. Exactly correct.
In that case, I'd ask you to have a look at this photograph that was taken at the scene. In particular, I'd like you to pay attention to the victim's face. You can clearly see that Mr. Asmund is wearing a pair of spectacles with a metal rim. Do you see that? Yeah, look at that thing. Yeah, you see it.
What? Metal? No, metals can't. That's not metal. No!
You've already established that the proposed murder weapon, the screwdriver, was found on the stage. That's why I even said I'm gonna shut that up, because I'm looking at you like you stupid. However, if your hypothesis correctly predicted that outcome, it should have also predicted that the metal rimmed spectacles would be found in the same place.
Ah! My hypothesis! My hypothesis!
Let me talk to you then, sir. Professor Harebrain, this isn't as easy for me to say but your hypothesis is clearly flawed.
Wah!
You're cooked now, buddy. Yeah. Order. Order. Order in the court. Counsel, what's the application of this? If on the day in question the alleged instantaneous kinesis never actually took place, then it's entirely possible that the victim was killed somewhere other than the stage. And in that case, someone other than the defendant could have been the culprit.
But my hypothesis is sound. I proved it that day. The experiment is a success. The experiment was a proof of all my work.
If I could say something here, in my capacity as a fellow of the Royal Society. Yes, juror number 4? Go on, go ahead. As a man of science, there's only one thing I simply cannot abide. That's a fraud who pretends to be a fellow man of science.
What? Wait, Scott! Are you suggesting that my science is a suspect?
It's just been disproved, hasn't it? In front of all of us. In other words, the whole demonstration was a complete nonsense from the start to finish. Believe me, my fellow jurors, when I tell you that this man is a heel, a bounder, and a fraud. I say the wreckage of that machine should be stripped down and thoroughly examined.
No, never! That machine is the essence of my entire hypothesis. It's protected by the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act.
What the devil's that blasted act all about, eh? Who made up such a daft rule?
The Chief Justice, dude? I don't like the way this seems to be going. What's the best way for me to help the professor? We might just have to raise an objection here. Let me raise an objection.
Objection.
Professor Harebrain has yet to perfect his invention. That would be the case, yes. But even so what? Let me talk. Going to such trouble and expense to create a fake machine to display in public, he would have absolutely no reason to do such a thing.
Objection.
He had an obvious reason to do exactly that. For the research grant money. No. Dude, he was, if anything, grateful for him. Why would he just instantly get rid of him just for money, bro? If that's the case, he would have just already asked for any person to do it, grant them the money, and then do that for any other person. Why Odie Asman in particular, if that's the case? If the government was foolish enough to have deemed this man's ridiculous notion plausible, he and his conspirators would have received a handsome sum of money. Indeed. Well, it was just only him and Odie. I don't think Odie's gonna do much. The conspirators? What would be the value of such a grant? £10?
You're in order of magnitude out, ma'am. £500 a year.
Oh, people have answered on that much for years. You eating that corn up, though. She is eating that corn up.
Society's noticed an increase of bogus, public demonstrations in the field of science recently. And plenty of scientists are arguing with each other to get the largest slice of the funding cake. People's greed is plenty motive enough for murder, I assure you.
No, I haven't deceived anyone. Least of all the government. My hypothesis is sound. The science is sound. Please, you must believe me.
Objection.
No matter how unbelievable this hypothesis may seem to you, ladies and gentlemen, the fact remains that the victim was transported instantly to the Crystal Tower, which means that the experiment was a success.
Barrick!
And therefore, the only person who could have possibly have committed this murder is the accused.
Barrick.
Where's this heading? I have no idea. My lord, if I may. Yes, Lord Van Zeeks. The prosecution would like to summon new witnesses to the stand. New witnesses? What would be the nature of their involvement? They were spectators of the demonstration at the exhibition. I'm assuming it would be Gina or something? Maybe Gina or something? I don't know at this point. Who were occupying special seats. Eyewitnesses. Very well. The court grants the prosecution's request. I should very much like to hear from eyewitnesses to the incident. The prosecution stance is clear. The experiment was no postage. Or postage? I don't know what it is. The accused killed the financier victim. There on the public stage before the very eyes of the spectators. Now, my learned friend. Oh, yes. It's time for you to make your own stance clear. It's clear following the professor's hypothesis. I can definitely see that. Where does that leave me? We shall take a short recess now. During which time the prosecution will prepare its new witnesses to take the stand. As you wish, my lord. Good. In that case, court is adjourned for 20 minutes. To be continued. Okay, 23rd of October, 10:44 a.m. The Old Bailey Defendant's Entity Chamber. Y'all give me a second. I'll be right back. Alright, let me see. Is this YouTube good? Well, can I flip it up so I can see it? Okay, we're good. Can you please keep it up here? Come on now. Excuse me, I had a burp, excuse me. Excuse me. There we go. Lift it up. So I can see my YouTube. Perfect. Alright, let's go.
Mr. Narhoda, what on earth were you playing at just now? Or rather, what on earth were you playing at all along? My amazing hypothesis. You've been picking holes in it from the start.
Ah, sorry about that.
But you promised me. You said you'd prove that dread explosion was an accident, not murder. You said you'd keep my perseverance from falling into anyone else's head. Well, all you've done so far is try to undermine me.
Yes, I did make you a promise. You're right. I said that I believe in you and fight for your freedom to the very end. But I've also told you that I was no scientist. I don't understand your hypothesis. The fact is, there's an undeniable flaw in your logic, isn't there?
But if I just run some equations, yes, you see, it's because my work is incomplete.
Perhaps it is. Nevertheless, a man died as a consequence, didn't he?
Oh no! You're right. You're so right. It's all my fault. I have no right to blame you for my failures. I'm a disaster, not as a scientist, but as a human being.
Well, that might be a little over the top.
And while we're on the subject, what about Barrick? He's being awful.
Claiming his old university friend to be a murderer, you mean?
He's a disaster, not as a prosecutor, but as a human being. Oh, but no, wait, he's the Reaper, is he? Perhaps he's not classified as a Homo sapien anymore.
Glad that that's cleared up. Can I double check something with you?
Yes, what?
The machine and demonstration you prepared, they're based entirely on your hypothesis, I assume. There was no trickery involved. I'm asking you.
I drew the plans for the machine with my very own hands. Every line was painstakingly drawn with the firm belief that science is the only future. So yes, it's true that my hypothesis hasn't reached maturity yet. But please, Mr. Arhoda, you must believe in it.
Alright, Professor. I understand. Counsel, defendant. The prosecution's witnesses are ready to take the stand. The court's about to be in session again. Make your way to the courtroom, please. It's all in the hinges on that demonstration. The professor's hypothesis is sound as he claims. It leaves him as the only person who could possibly have killed him, killed the victim. While on the other hand, Mr. Sholmes was adamant. A practical implementation, such as was attempted by the professor at the Great Exhibition, is quite impossible. So really, what should I be trying to prove here? Hey Kayla, what's up? How are you doing? 23rd of October, 11 a.m., the Old Bailey courtroom. I'm not gonna lie, I'm already not except for this. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby reconvene the proceedings of this court. Good, how am I? I am doing okay. And I'll be waiting to see how Among Us is gonna be. Now, like I said, I'm gonna give it like 10-20 minutes when that happens though. If I don't see 6 or more people, I promise you I probably will have to play another game. So, yeah, and it might be versatile. And I might just be grinding on the other decks I'm going to play with. Anyway, had to move that going on. Let's keep going. Counsels for the defense and prosecution. Are you ready for the new witnesses to testify? The prosecution is ready. I've said that before. I've said it on the streams and the other thing multiple times. I've said, if there's not 6 or more people, I'm going to play Master Duel. I've said that clear as day before. And I even said it while you were there. I said it for you, Rico. The only one I think I haven't said that for is Concave. I'm sorry, but I've said it. I've said it even before the thing. I've even said it when there were 3 people there, because I know Clay ain't gonna be there. I've said it has to be 6 or more people, because guess what? No one wants to go out there and be out there having only like 4 people to, you know what I'm saying, play the thing, you know what I'm saying? You gotta have a little fun with it. If there's not more people for it, how am I gonna have fun with that? Like, keep it a buck, Caitlin. Let's keep it a buck. Somebody wanna play Master Duel? That's what I'm saying, because here's my thing. At least with Master Duel, guess what? Vortex would actually be in it. He said he would actually play a game or 2 probably on it. Rico most likely is never going to be there. Kayla is a little iffy if you're going to be there, but I would understand that you most likely would try to be there. Concave, Concave don't have Astro, so that's besides the point. He might not play that much anyway. So, hey, like I said, Backdoor Rivals was the best bet, honestly. Rico said he would be there, which honestly, I believe in Rico. Rico would definitely be in that thing, and you would try at least to be there. Clay, I don't know why Clay voted. I'm gonna keep it a section. I don't know why he voted. Because he's most likely not gonna be there anyway. Concave would try, and that's if I even reminded him. And so on and so forth. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I knew whatever was going to happen. Look, I trusted you more than I trusted Clay, because Clay ain't gonna make it. He just was not gonna make it. But yeah, we balling though. Prosecution is ready, my lord. And as the defense, my lord. So, Lord Van Zeeks, I believe these next witnesses saw the demonstration on the day in question with their own eyes. Indeed, they did. And as luck would have it, one of them is a police detective. So the testimony we're about to hear can be considered highly reliable. Perfect, a detective of all people. The prosecution's stance remains unchanged. Though it ended in tragedy, the demonstration on the day in question was scientifically sound. And consequently, the sole person with the opportunity to have committed this act of murder is the only other individual that is present to have been present on the stage at the time, the accused. Thank you, counsel. The prosecution's position is clear. So, bringing forth your witnesses now. Bailiff, show the witnesses in. The witnesses whose proximity to the incident on the day in question will clarify the truth unequivocally. Who are those two? Witnesses, state your name and occupation for the court to hear. Why does it have to be every person different? Daggone it. Why did it have to be more people for me to have to voice act? My name is Balthazar Loon. I am the impresario of all the hot air balloons in vicinity of the experimental stage. My name is Wilhelm Karlsrich Sigismund Ormstein. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm gonna call you WG, or I'm gonna call you William. Or Wilhelm. I'll call you Wilhelm, sir. But your name is Gods, so I might call you Gods. I have come to see the great exhibition all the way from my home in Bohemia. I'm very rich. Inspector Gina Lashard, Scotland Yard. I'm a great detective. Even Airlock Sholmes agrees. I was on the security duty at the exhibition. I got to go up in one of them balloons. It was amazing. Gina, again. But she did mention that she'd seen the disaster from up in a balloon, actually, didn't she? And she clearly loved every minute of it. Are we not going to question that Gina was supposedly a criminal? And people be thinking that now it was like, you know what, police detective, we don't care anymore. That's 6 months ago. That was nothing. I'll take it though. Look, that means no one's going to disrespect her or nothing. There were 3 balloons flying near the public experimentation stage when the incident occurred. 2 of these witnesses were in one such balloon at the time and saw events unfold from the skies above. You make it sound like they were in the clouds. It was only an altitude of circa 60 feet, very low. Well, you can't see nothing if you fly too high, can you? 60 feet, about 18 meters then. Thank you for your introductions. Now you will give your formal testimony for the court. Kindly describe exactly what you witnessed, especially those of you who had a vantage point above the stage. Yeah, my throat feels like rap, but that'd be alright. Let's go. The views from 60 feet up. It was an incident terribly. I am only grateful that my balloons were not damaged. There was this huge bang from the stage, and then the next second, another bang in the sky beside us. Okay, we need to press that. And from amid the smoke, a cage appeared out of nowhere. We might press that if we need something else. So we got two we might press. So second and third we might press. The cage, it fell from the sky like a stone. It crashed into Crystal Tower. I didn't get a good look inside the cage though, but no one went near it after it crashed into the tower. Okay, so pressing two things that matter at most. A most extraordinary collective account, I must say. Could I just clarify something? Excuse me, I have to yawn real quick. Sorry, I yawned. There's a detail in the witness's testimony that I've not heard of any mention of until now. Specifically, that there were two explosions. More precisely, two explosions in two separate places, yes. When the demonstration began, the balloon carrying the two witnesses was around. Here. There were other balloons in the air nearby at the time, carrying other passengers as well, to be clear. Okay, makes sense. That they made explosion. Then as the power was applied to the machine for the demonstration, the first explosion occurred. And it pushed them up. The so-called bird cage that contained the victims disappeared from the stage. Then a moment later, the second explosion occurred, directly adjacent to the balloon carrying the witnesses. The bird cage appeared at the site of the explosion, subsequently to plummet down to the Crystal Tower. I was very surprised. Suddenly a cage appeared before my eyes with a person inside. The blast was so hot, but I didn't want to miss a thing, so I kept my eyes wide. He getting his money worth. I still have a lot of money. Hey, that man's rich! Precisely, who is this curious infant? I am told he is a young noble of Bohemian royalty. Apparently, he disguised himself in order to steal unnoticed into the great exhibition. Ja, I am here in London on a sightseeing trip with my elementary school. We will have the benefit of a child's point of view in the testimony. Do we really need that? Then I remove my mask. This is what I look like. Oh yes, I see a delightful face, I'm sure. Ja, everyone says so. Great disguise then. The point is, the testimony of these witnesses further substantiate the facts for the court. Namely that despite ending in an explosion, instantaneous kinesis was successfully demonstrated. And furthermore, that until the arrival of the police, no one approached the Crystal Tower where the victim fell. Therefore, only the accused who was with Mr. Asman on the stage could possibly have committed the murder. Yes, thank you, counsel. The prosecution's view on the matter are quite clear. There, go ahead, Jan. So, the defense is cross-examination now, please. Yes, my lord. The view from 60 feet up. I said the other two needed to be dead. Okay. Pressing you.
Hold it!
Let me talk to you, Gina. So you actually saw the accident happen from up in the air, did you?
Yep. Isn't it amazing what a great detective gets to do? Eh? I tell you, Odo, being a lawyer is a mud game. You should join the force. We can go flying together.
Hey, honestly, look, Gina, my character is like, you know, you're an age. I mean, my character is definitely an age around like maybe 19 or 20ish, maybe. Cause why is she still 16 is beyond me though. And how is she still 10? Like, how does that work? Did she just turn 10 like when we just met her or something? Like, what was this? These age things don't make sense sometimes. Depending on what it is though. But yeah. You know me so well. Yes, well, anyway, could you tell us exactly what you saw, do you think? Everything. Or everything. Saw everything. Because we were up above it all. That dodgy cove climbing into the cage and that dodgy professor put all them lovers. And that's when it happened. That's when there was this massive bang at the cage. It disappeared just like that. You were describing the moment the subject's body was decomposed by the electricity, I believe. I didn't know what to make of it. But then there was another bang right in my ear. I looked around and there was another huge, great fireball right next to the sky. There was nothing there before.
Excuse me.
Master Gotts. Does your memory of the day differ? My teacher at elementary school said that when you meet something for the first time, you should always use their full name. Yes, what was it again? I'm not saying that garbage. Get out. I'm sorry. I'm not saying that. Just the four names did. The point is, do you have something to say? And I'm not saying that. I'm sorry. Like, I would say it, but I'm not going to waste my time trying to say that and then I get butchered the name bad again. I'm not trying to do that. I'll just call you Wilhelm. My bad. Something to add in response to Detective Gina's Lestrade's last remark, perhaps? Oh, get it right, Odo. It's Inspector Lestrade. Why does everyone have a problem with how I address them at the moment? That is not what I saw. Oh. There was a second explosion, and it was right beside our balloon. It's true. But I'm sure. But it's what I said, ain't it? 1 minute there was nothing, then there was a massive explosion. My teacher at elementary school said that someone else is speaking. If you're rude enough to interrupt, you will have the most awful life imaginable. Are all Bohemians brought up to be so full of joy? Just before the second explosion happened next to our balloon, I clearly witnessed a green balloon flying in the sky. A green balloon? You don't say. Talk more about that balloon, because if that's what I'm thinking it is, could have been this maybe. Eh? You what? I never saw nothing like that. Well, I did. I saw it. And you can't say I didn't. I will complain to the council. I will cry and scream. My testimony is that true. I am a Bohemian prince. You cannot say it's a lie. That is not allowed. Just playing the bleeding royalty card, area. Typical. Says the orphan who likes to remind people she works for Her Majesty's police. In that case, young man, I must ask you to amend your formal testimony. In the interest of cordial national relations between Great Britain and Bohemia. Hey,
Objection.
wait, crap, dang it, what's it this? Oh, crap. Alright, it was probably the other one, my bad. My bad. It is jarring. Okay, my apologies. Wait, was it this one?
Objection.
It's that one. I'm stupid. It was the other one. I was thinking it was the blue thing, and it's like, yeah, no, it's not this one. It's the other one. Okay, that's my fault. That's my fault. I'm saving it though. But that's my fault. My apologies. That's my fault though. That's my fault. That's my fault. That is my fault. Mr. Loon, in your testimony, you said that all three of the balloons you had operated at the time were undamaged. See, that is correct. If they had been caught in explosions there, it would have been terrible. I wonder if you might know what this is. Ah, I think it may be. See, part of a balloon, a burnt piece of fabric of the envelope. Sorry, the envelope? Pardon, that is the large round part of the balloon which was filled with hot air. It is made from very thick fabric lined with rubber. You do not want it ripped when you're in the sky. As I thought. This piece of cloth was found near the experimentation stage. In other words, as Mr. Master Gott testified, a green balloon did indeed explode that day. If all the balloons were in the sky above the experimentation stage belonging to you, Mr. Loon, then your statement that they were all damaged clearly contradicts the evidence in total. No! Should fight healing guys, bro. What healing guys am I worry about? The only healing guys I need is in Baldur's Gate. How you doing? Instantaneous kinesis did occur, but after the explosion on the stage. The point of the materialization shifted to a location occupied by a balloon, causing the balloon to explode. Yes, immediately plausible. Unfortunate traffic accident, as it were, but it changes nothing about the pertinent facts. This I cannot accept. I realize that's at Baldur's Gate, and you know what happened to him. Every time I was out there doing something, I died. Like, why the heck I go out there? 6 health I had, literally lost 7 health every time that happened. I can't help that. I'm cooked either way if that happens. It is what it is at this point in time. But crap. Alright, let's go. Why not, Mr. Loon? You are suggesting that I am a liar. I didn't say it was hard. This is the fact. Hey, look, I didn't even say it was hard. I just said, look, I had 6 HP. I had my 7 HP with that. Boom, instantly. I can't help that. But look, if I'm gonna rest, I'm gonna rest. Dude, you talking I'm a coward when I'm trying to rest. If I need rest, I ain't trying to die and I have 2 HP. Cause I'm gonna lose. You had no HP about either about. Actually, I have less XP than you, so I can't say that. Nah, yeah, I had a dream that I didn't want to get cooked bad and I wanted to have a good rest. That's what I wanted. The persons that died in the balloon, it's a dete. There's no need to get fired up, Mr. Loon. The victim was the sole fatality that day. That's right, I prove it. Balthazar Loon is not a liar. Oh, res up. Bro, I'm not trying to res up the other girl. I'm not trying to res them up. There's only one girl trying to res up and you know who that is. There was no such balloon in the sky. It's non-possible. Possible! Like, what the heck are we doing here? You're saying it's impossible? Why? This court has more important matters to discuss than the number of balloons that were operating that day. Hey! Now shut up! My turn to talk. But we can't ignore the fact that nobody appears to have known anything about this other balloon until now. My lord, the defense calls for further testimony from Mr. Loon. I concur. There is clearly more to the truth than meets the eye. Yeah, I want the red girl. Yeah, I definitely do. Yeah, let me talk to her. It's imperative that we clear up the issue of this phantom balloon, I feel. Witness, you will give supplementary testimony about the balloons you were operating at the exhibition. I can't see that crap right, but yeah, I think that's it. I'm gonna play with to Life Festival on Rivals. Hey, go for it, man. Look, I'm gonna do Bezel. Can I have El Riz there as well? Hey, if you have El Riz on that, that's on you, man. I can help you on that, man. Help me on that. Ah, voici, my lord. That's on you. That can help you on that, man. Saloon's balloon. As I said, Balthazar Moon is no liar. Every balloon I had in the sky landed safely. All three of my balloons were carrying passengers. If they fell to the ground in an explosion, what a catastrophe! And dang, I got text for example, so I'll answer later. But you can't get away from the fact that the burnt up bit of the cloth was fantasine, can you? The coppers at the yard reckoned it was probably some debris thrown from the explosion on the stage. The stupid, though, Rexo is mistaken. My balloons have the red and blue zigzag stripes anyway. So your assertion is that the balloon this child saw was not the one belonging to you? Si, exactamente. If he even saw a balloon in the first place, I do not like the sound of it. It is very bad for business. I have a good mind to sue the land of Bohemia. If you attack us, we will fight back. It will be war. All out war. Now give me my balloon before I whoop your tail. What happened to all out war? And he just said, here's my buddy, give me your balloon. The balloon certainly doesn't appear to be lying, but that doesn't change the fact that the testimony and the evidence are contradicting each other here. The defense is unable to find fault with the witness's statement. The court must consider them the truth. Think long and hard on that, my learned friend. The situation has clearly changed now. I have to get to the bottom of what happened here, no matter what it takes. Counsel, you may now cross-examine the witnesses.
Hold it!
You mean the color is wrong? Si, signor. I do not have any green balloons in my warehouse. And yet a piece of green cloth was found at the scene, and it's unmistakably from a balloon. Well, I do not know how that could be. For the sake of argument, let's say that a green balloon did explode above the stage. You couldn't therefore conclude that it happened on the day in question. Why not? There have been recreational balloon flights over Hyde Park operated from before the Great Exhibition. One could have exploded on some earlier dates. Unfortunate, as I'm sure you'd agree. You believe that it may have been from some earlier balloon accident that predates the exhibition? Si, exactamente. As the signor says, it is not from one of my balloons. Clearly this little Raxoro from Bohemia is mistaken about what he saw.
Excuse me.
Let me talk to you, sir. Is something wrong, Master Gotts? It is Master Wilhelm. Yeah, I'm not reading that crap. It was on the tip of my tongue. Cha, something is very wrong. I know what I saw. There was a green balloon there. I swear it. I swear it. All over Bohemia. You can speak as much bad language as you like, but it changes nothing. Give me my balloon. If you do not have evidence, Raxoro, then I must tell you your parents to punish you, eh? Perhaps we'll let the judge decide when it comes to punishments. Evidence? What is the evidence? To give a simple example, young man, A photograph, for instance. Some tangible proof of what you claim.
Well, why didn't you say it sooner? I have the photograph here.
Good gracious, that kid is smart.
What? Oh, that man shook loose like, oh crap, he's cooking. They're both scared of him. That's crazy work. I had not been up in a balloon for a little while, so I was very excited. I took lots and lots of photographs.
Oh yeah, look, they're both frightened. They're both shook. Gina's probably shook because she's like, I didn't know get this evidence before. And this guy's probably like, crap, I'm about to get cooked.
Of the Crystal Tower, of the Bohemian exhibit, of the streets of London, of the hot eel cellar.
I think they're at this point they might as well say sealer at this point, but it's cellar though.
It's a balloon.
I thought they were gonna be like the sealer thing because he was talking about sealer before too. And the instantaneous kinesis experiment. Did you take a picture of that?
Ja, one picture.
Really? You did take one.
But all I wanted was a ride in a balloon. I was not interested in aborted experiments.
Never mind that. Can you show us that photograph?
Of course, and then you'll see. You will see that I am not lying. That I really did see a green balloon.
We can't really see that. We really can't see that as a picture. Do we have like a color thing where we can just make it colored to what it is?
Well, I see you are shocked to speak.
Yes, I think shocked is indeed the word, young man.
Give me my thing. Ja, perhaps you cannot see that it's green balloon from this photograph, but that is not my fault. That is the fault of the stupid person who made the camera.
And then they start crying.
That is one very Bohemian sounding cry.
Well, very well, the court must up this photograph and the evidence. Get this crying baby out of my courtroom, please.
It's not my fault. It's the fault of the person who made the camera.
I mean, look, not a lot of people can make that camera work out, man. So, it looks like this thing was pointing at this right here.
But, well, never mind. I'm sure you have a plenty of wonderful sepia memories to take home with you. In any case, when exactly did you take that photograph exactly? Well, it was on the day of the big explosion.
You don't say.
When I pressed the shutter release, there was this very loud bang, and a hot wind rushed over my face.
That means this photograph was taken a split second before the explosion occurred.
Well, if you ask me, this black and white photograph changes nothing. I could not give the flying fig.
Lovely language you picked up. As I thought, Mr. Loon's testimony just doesn't quite add up. The young Bohemian boy claims to have seen another fourth balloon. Mr. Loon vehemently denies the possibility. And it's hard to imagine that a man in charge could be mistaken about the number that were in there. Still, this inconsistency must tell us something, I'm sure.
Objection!
Let's go. Unfortunately, the photograph Master Gotts took cannot tell us the color of the balloon, but it can tell us something else, something crucially important. What? It shows that this picture balloon wasn't carrying any passengers. Ah, my goodness, you're right! Indeed it does. So we're cooking. But surely all the balloons would have been carrying passengers. There wouldn't have been no sense in it otherwise. That's the point. Someone must have gone out there and was helping someone else.
See, they are very pleasure for seeing the view. My balloons only fly with passengers.
Which tells us that the pigeon balloon isn't one of them. So when the incident occurred that day, there was a fourth balloon in the skies above the experimentation stage. The mysterious green balloon.
I know nothing, Niente. I can only tell you one thing. If this balloon was not carrying passengers, then it was not one of mine.
Objection!
There are illegal tradesmen everywhere you care to look. Clearly one such an entrepreneur, if that suits your fancy, decided to capitalize on the opportunity presented by the Great Exhibition, and managed to operate balloon flights on Mr. Loon's patch without him realizing.
See, the competizione tried to steal my profit. I did not notice because of the experimento that went wrong on the stage.
This fourth balloon exploded at the very same moment Mr. Asman was beamed from the stage below, and I'm about to change my controller real quick. Give me a second. Alright, hold on, give me a second. That people thumping though. Oh wait, what? Can I grab that thing? Please, take it. Let me grab it. Alright. There we go. Let me see. I gotta see if I can hear myself when that happens, so let's see. There we go. Let me see. Okay, yep, I can hear myself. Perfect. There we go. Alright. There we go. Right. So them scraps that fell to the ground after and left them scorch marks, they didn't come from the stage at all. It was bits of the balloon raining down. But because no one was in it, it didn't get no attention. The mysterious fourth balloon carrying no passengers, suddenly floating over the experimentation stage.
Objection!
This photograph shows us nothing more. Stray balloon carrying no one, operated by some rogue trader. Clearly has nothing to do with the case. It does. Its relevance does elude me, I must say. The court has seen sufficient evidence and heard ample testimony already. The prosecution calls for this trial to be concluded. You know. Really? Have we really got the truth yet? No. I can't let this opportunity slip away. Jurors' minds are made up, and not in our favor. What else does this photograph tell us? It tells us more.
Objection!
It tells about the explosion. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, wait. Please don't give out your decisions yet. The photograph from Master Gods may be hiding one more vital clue. What's that? A vital clue?
Objection!
Well, we're well past the point of mere possibilities. It's time for definitives now, so tell the court. What exactly does this alleged clue in the photograph prove? The cause of the explosion. We can reasonably assume that the pigeon balloon was destroyed in the searing heat of the explosion, correct?
Ja, they're right, Ja. It was not my fault.
Evidently, because the bird cage from the kinesis machine materialized in the sky where it had been flying. And the balloon being filled with the flammable hydrogen instantly and explosively ignited.
Objection!
No, that's not what happened. What? It would appear that this photograph requires closer examination. If you look at this there, yeah, look, man. If you look at that, we see this white little light thing right here. Whatever this thing is. So this thing right here is a problem. But yeah, let's go though. Counsel for the defense. You will highlight the location of this alleged clue in the photograph for the court. Of course, my lord. If you look closely, it's plain enough to see. And what's shown to link another piece of evidence we have. In a way, this leads to an unbelievable conclusion. The clue that heavily suggests that the real reason that the balloon exploded is...
Take that!
The timing of this photograph can only be described as miraculous. If you look, you'll notice there's a bright white line that appears to point directly at the balloon. Most likely a ray of light caught incidentally on the film. I'm afraid I cannot see or can see nothing of the sort. There you go. If you look with a magnifying glass, my lord, it becomes clear what the nature of this bright light really is. Goodness, what is that? Undeniably some flash of light, yes. Oh golly, do you think that it might be lightning? But it couldn't have been a finer day. I believe we may be looking at fire. A bolt of fire, headed straight for the balloon, like an arrow. Indeed. Even to my aging eyes, it would appear to be a flame of some sort. My word, are you suggesting that this flame struck the hydrogen gas that filled the balloon?
Objection!
That's absurd. The balloon would have been 60 feet above the ground at the time. No flame could have possibly reached such a height. What would I tell you if there was a crossbow here? What would I tell you if there was a crossbow here? I rest my case. We have a crossbow here.
Objection!
Let me talk to you real quick. Actually, it's my opinion that the particular piece of evidence found at the scene reveals how this is exactly what did happen. What evidence? If such evidence exists, Counsel, then for goodness sake, present, man. Which evidence explains this mysterious streak of flame that appears to be headed directly for the balloon? The crossbow indeed. This was found hidden at the floor of, well, the foot of a small ornamental tree near the scene. Good lord, is that a crossbow? An arrow dipped in the oil and set a line could have been shot from this weapon, sending a flaming arrow straight into the hydrogen-filled balloon. Did something happen? What the heck happened? What's wrong with my phone? My phone acted up a little bit. What happened? So we'll try to act up a little bit. Alright, there we go. Are you suggesting that the crossbow was used to deliberately... Blimey, you're right! The streak of light in the photo looks like an arrow, don't it? The explosion on the balloon, it was... very likely the result of a flaming arrow from this crossbow igniting the hydrogen gas inside it. No! Now you got the green right there. Order! Order in the court! Counsel! This is an extraordinary supposition. If the aim would cause the balloon to explode, the shooter could have used a gun, of course. However, there's a more obvious reason that it would have been out of question. The noise of the discharge? Of course. That's right. Thanks to a crossbow, the projectile could be fired at the balloon silently. Well, yeah, if someone had shot a gun off in exhibition grounds, it would have caused a real panic. But with the big explosion, there was a very big panic anyway, no? I don't like this. Should be pleased to have found a plausible new explanation for all this, but it's still somehow it's wrong. Do you understand the implications of what you're trying to, or what you're saying, my Nipponese friend? If a flaming arrow did indeed hit the balloon, then obviously it would have exploded. And if the birdcage appeared from this cloud of smoke that ensued... Wait, what? What? Wait a minute. What are you really saying here? I don't get it. Was the birdcage beamed up into the sky after all, or what? My goodness me! Ah, now I understand. That's what the secret field is about. I think there's a good chance that the birdcage was actually concealed inside the balloon all along. What? Did I just hear that correctly, Council? There's no going back now. The horse is bolted. Let's assume, as I said, that the birdcage was hidden inside the green balloon from the start. On the stage, when the experiment was started, the birdcage in an instant kinesis machine disappeared in a cloud of smoke. At that moment, the flaming arrow was fired from the ground, causing the green balloon to explode and drawing the attention of the spectators to the sky above their head. From amid the smoke, the hidden birdcage appears to fall down and crash to the crystal tower. I think you all agree this is entirely plausible. That what I've just described is the real truth behind the miraculous experiment carried out that day. Good grief!
Objection!
This is ludicrous. Would you describe this no science experiment? It's child's play, a contemptible display of stage magic. But Holmes and Iris said the experiment was a scientific impossibility, in which case this is the only way to explain what happened that day. In any case, the victim's body was found inside the birdcage in the crystal tower. If the instantaneous kinesis didn't take place, how do you explain that? If I may put in a word, as a man of magic myself, such apparent discrepancies can be easily explained by some simple deception. To juror number 3. All that would be needed is a doppelganger, someone who looks very similar to the victim, Mr. Asman. So you're saying Mr. Asman staged it? Oh my goodness. To make him, oh, that's crazy. And having this other man appear on the stage to the front show as a body double. Ah, yes, of course. So in fact, Asman must have been inside the birdcage that was concealed inside the balloon right from the start. But the question is, how did he get out, though? If that's the case, how did he get out? Did he just hide under the thing and just play the smart?
Objection!
That balloon would have been filled with hydrogen. Anything inside it would have been scattered to the 4 winds when it exploded. No one would have ever been embarked on such a risky venture. Not necessarily. The explosive force of the balloon gas would have very much depended on the mixture ratio. To juror number 4. Flying balloons are rarely filled with pure hydrogen, but a mixture of the other gases as helium as well. Helium on its own doesn't explode, but by controlling the gas mixture ratio, the explosive force can be altered. The mixture ratio. Obviously, the victim's body would have suffered some burns. That would have been unavoidable. But not to such extent as to render this whole obscene charade impossible, or charade impossible. So everything that happened can be explained logically and scientifically. The explosion that engulfed the stage at the start of the experiment was no accident. It was all a part of an elaborate deception, to make it appear that instantaneous kinesis had occurred. Well, goodness me! And if we accept that this is what happened, it means that the victim, Mr. Asman, was never present on the public experimentation stage to begin with. In short, he couldn't have been killed by the defendant, who was on stage in full view the entire time. This will be very hard for the prosecution to counter. Lord Van Zinks can't credibly maintain the Professor Haybrain as a suspect now. I swear, if it's the scientist dude, at this point, get him guilty. Bro, what?
Mr. Nahoda, I appreciate your efforts. Thank you.
Professor?
But you can stop now. You can just keep your mouth shut, please.
What? Sorry? What's all this about, Mr. Hairbrain?
I, Albert Hairbrain, hereby confess that it was me who stabbed Mr. Odie Asman.
Odious man, like, what are we doing?
Yes, it was me, with my faithful friend and partner, Andrew the Screwdriver.
What?
What are you doing? This man is capping his butt off. What, man? What?
Why is this man trying to make this man say he's guilty? You're not even guilty. Why are you capping? Oh my goodness. Why? Wonder why I don't want to be a daggone defense attorney. This is why, man. They do some stupid stuff like this. Order on the court. Defendant, explain the sudden confession.
Objection!
Professor Hairbrain, what are you talking about?
It's what I've said all along.
Exactly. Like, what is he doing? At this point, I want to quit so I can be like, yeah, nah, you do this. You want to be this all day? Why did you want me to be helping you and defend you? Like, come on, get me out of here.
I must protect my hypothesis and my precious machine. You stand there claiming it was all a trick. All an elaborate prank, but where's your proof?
Look, man, I'm not gonna lie to you. Let me cook though.
No, you'd have to examine the machine if you wanted to prove it, but then it'd be all over. My beautiful hypothesis would be laid bare. I mean, the dignity of it.
It's clear that you drew the plans for the experiment, but you didn't actually build it. It's quite inconceivable that you were duped, Professor. If you let me explain, I'll...
Barrick!
Yes?
I'll cooperate. I'll do whatever you say. I swear it. So please, ensure that the special suspension, for Scientific Equipment Act is adhered to and protect my creation.
This man's capping. I know he's capping. He would never say that before. Pray forgive the discourtesy of filling my hallowed chalice at this critical juncture. Here's to my learned Nipponese friend. What? In his upcoming attempt to clarify the defense's position in the light of the accused's confession. Do you intend to formally assert that the experiment was nothing more than a conjuring trick? Because the moment you do, the special suspension for a Scientific Equipment Act that protects the professor's inventions will cease to apply. Okay. The prosecution would then demand a rigorous examination of the machinery involved in order to establish the truth. I'm doing that! Forget your feelings! I'm gonna do it! However, if you acknowledge that the machine is genuine and instrumental in the victim's murder, any chance of investigating will be crushed and the confidentiality of the professor's hypothesis preserved. Well, counsel, what is the defense's official position on this matter? What Professor Hairbrain, my client, actually asked of me was to prove that the explosion on stage was an accident and protect the secrecy of his hypothesis. But there's no way to do that without implying the professor's guilt. Do I protect my client's life by asserting his innocence, or do I uphold my client's request but see him condemned? Either way, I can't avoid betraying his trust. You've been silent long enough. Is it talking your trade, my learned friend? Or has all knowledge of English escaped your confused Nipponese mind?
Mr. Narhoda!
There's no escape here. I have to make a choice. But it's an impossible one. I have to give up on something. But what? Spencer asserts that the defense's instantaneous kinesis machine was in fact... Oh my goodness. A conjuring trick. I don't give 2 cares anymore. A conjuring trick. This is tough. No, I can't say it. My client places faith in me. I can't just let him down. What must I give up on? Is that the question you have to ask yourself here? It's what can I protect? Hello again, Mr. Narhoda. It's been far too long. Susano-san! But what are you...
Hiya! Well, yo! I just got here! Come on!
My first Susano takedown is 6 months. There'll be time to talk later, Mr. Narhoda. For now, we must concentrate on the task at hand. Well, excuse me. I'm on the floor. You threw me on the floor. Maybe, use your brain instead of just throwing me down, because I think I lost my brain cell after you threw me. Which is working out not what I have to give up on, but what I can protect. Professor Hairbraid.
Ah, yes!
Yesterday you told me that science is the pursuit of the truth. Well, my job is to pursue the truth too.
Yes, of course.
And personally, I believe that you didn't stab Mr. Asman. I think you've come to realize something yourself too, haven't you? That your experiment and the machine you built with the victim are questionable. The truth behind that is what we must both pursue now.
Why?
So, you finally opened your eyes. What? And as for you, Albert, you can't ignore this any longer. Having heard my learned friend's assertion, don't you have something to say?
Barbaric!
Lord Van Zeeks?
Gosh, I've never heard him speak that way before. In truth, there is one thing, something I've remembered that's of relevance.
What?
On the day it happened, just before I began the experiment, I saw a man near the stage. A man holding that crossbow.
I beg your pardon! Professor, did the man have any distinguishing features? What did he look like?
Tall. Taller than me, and thin. Thinner than me, with straight hair. Straighter, and wider than mine.
Straight. You said straight white hair though. That's no one that we know of in particular then. If it's not him, then I don't know anyone else it could be. So it has to be someone that we don't know of in particular.
Let me see. One less lens than me too. A monocle. A rather stylish black monocle.
One less monocle. So it would be like this guy, but if it was like without other. Don't tell me this man's alive and all of a sudden he just tried to frame his own death on him.
But one thing in particular would help to positively identify the man, you see. I know him very well. After all, he's the engineer who built my invention.
What? He built the machine?
That's right. Mr. Aspen introduced me to him 1 year ago. He's a man by the name of Enoch
Drebber. Enoch! Drebber! Does that name mean something? Members of the jury seem flustered. Not a name any scientist wishes to hear. That man's an abomination.
Not a name any conjurer wishes to hear either.
Who on earth is he? I'm afraid this isn't the first tale of this nature that I've heard in scientific circles in connections with that name. There's a talk of another flamboyant experiments that turned out to be nothing but stage trickery in the end. Obviously, the rascal is after the government's research grant money.
When magicians are needing money, I have heard that of them resorting to these underhanded tactics. Some acquaintances of mine with experience with such things have mentioned Enoch Drebber's name before.
The man is both an engineer and a magician, yes. We're dealing with an unparalleled confidence trickster here. That's Enoch Drebber for you. Bring him out then.
Oh, so it's true then. My invention, my great machine, it was just a grand illusion?
Considering what we've just learned about Mr. Drebber's character, I'm sorry to say that sounds increasingly likely.
Even though no one else believed it, I wanted to. I wanted to believe that the machine would function exactly as my hypothesis predicted.
Which is why you were so opposed to it being investigated, I presume.
I knew that if the machine was examined in detail, its construction would give away my hypothesis. Obviously, I didn't want that to happen, but at the same time, I knew that if I was found out nothing more than a trick than organ deception, then everything I'd worked towards, all my research, all my dreams, my whole life would be over. I was terrified at the prospect.
So you really had no idea then, did you? About the true nature of the machine that was built. And the truth of Mr. Drebber.
I never questioned anything. I didn't want to question it.
And it's entirely possible that Mr. Asman and Mr. Drebber were working together to use you as means of fraudulently acquiring the research grant money.
When I announced my invention to the crowd that day, it was the finest moment of my career. I pulled out all the levers and turned all the dials exactly the way Mr. Drebber had described. When the smoke suddenly started billowing out, I panicked. I didn't know what was happening. But I really don't know how the whole illusion was made to work. I don't know anything more.
Let me confirm one final point with you, Professor. Do you now consent to the prosecution submitting the necessary paperwork to release your invention from the protection afforded by the Special Disposition for a Scientific Equipment Act? My bad if I was about to butcher that name. I was about to say disposition, apparently. Or dispensation, right? And I was about to get cooked.
Yes, please go ahead. I'm very sorry.
It would appear that we shall have to suspend proceedings for the remainder of the day now. Sorry, I had to butcher her name again, sadly. Lord Van Zeets. My lord, the court has newly been made aware of another party whose involvement in this matter is critical. Yes, Mr. Drebber. Gather information about the man. If possible, I should like him served with a subpoena. With pleasure, my lord. Now, counsel for the defense. Yes, my lord. You did it again. When we reconvene, I shall be looking forward for one thing and one thing alone from you. Evidence that the defendant is innocent of the crime for which he presently stands accused. I understand. Good. In that case, the court in this court is adjourned until tomorrow morning. "23rd of October, 1:36 p.m. The Old Bailey, defendant's antechamber.
Mr. Naruhodo!
Ah, yes?
I'm so sorry. I was wrong. You were right. I tricked you. You trusted me. I dragged you into my mess. Oh, how did it ever come to this? I'm so sorry.
Did you really have no idea, Professor? About what Mr. Trevor was really up to, I mean? About what he was really constructing?
Naturally. That machine was the embodiment of my hypothesis, of all my hopes and dreams. I had complete faith in it.
Alright, in that case, I won't say any more. Now, sadly the murder accusation against you still stands. So we must do as much investigation as we can before the trial resumes tomorrow.
Well, thank you for doing so much for me.
I'm so sorry for arriving late this morning, Mr. Naruhodo. Arriving late? Did you receive my postcard? I wanted to let you know when I'd arrive. Postcard? What postcard?
I hid it from you, Runo, so it would be a surprise. Well, did it work?
Not really, but yeah, sure. I was surprised, alright, especially when she threw me down to the ground.
Oh dear, I'm so sorry. I was just so happy to see you again that it sort of slipped out.
So your suicidal takedown just slipped out and I just got thrown? You have to do that to me. I deserve that. Maybe we could stick to more traditional displays of emotion in the future, like, I don't know, hugs, or handshakes, or like, I miss you too.
Susie's train was late in London, Victoria this morning, you see. We made the coachman really whip the horses hard so she didn't miss the whole trial. I was watching from the gallery for a while, but in the end, I'm afraid I couldn't contain myself.
Well, I'm glad you didn't.
Oh.
Having you at my side of the court really gives me the strength I need to win. So, I'm delighted to see you back in London.
Oh, you're too kind, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm delighted to be here.
Hope I can continue to be of service to you. Of course. So, what brought you back? Did Professor Mikotoba not protest?
Let's save all that conversation for when we're back at home, shall we? You know, I've made one of my special blends ever for this special occasion. Oh, Iris, how wonderful. I can't wait.
Let's go. Sana-san was back in London. It's hard to describe how happy that made me feel at the time. Despite my elation, our tale was about to take yet another extraordinary turn. To be continued. And I think we can stop it here because, later I gotta do this anyway. Might be Monday, maybe. Get me out here. Save here. So we got that here. But yeah, y'all, we are going to stop it here because I gotta be straight set for later around 8, and that's if I stream mangas. But if I don't stream mangas, I'm most likely going to play Macedo, because Macedo has a pack thing going out for that. So yeah, y'all, I'll let you know about that. But yeah, I will see y'all later though. Peace and love, y'all.